Hi everyone. Hello trainees. Once again, we're on our technical training for freelancers for the web development course. Okay. Um, Again, this is a digital jobs PH technical training for website develop WordPress website development for freelancers, which is a collaboration project by the DICT, by the ILCDB, and of course, FAPSCO. All right, and now we are on our module 3. Okay, let me just share my screen. We are now on branding and niching, module 3. All right, this is still part of the introduction to online opportunities. Okay, we're still not yet on the specialized lessons or workshop for the website development. All right, but these topics are very important for us to know because this will help us, guide us on serving our clients' needs, no, as freelancers. All right. Again, I said branding and niching is the topic. Again, this material is produced by FAPSCO, and if you need to reproduce or distribute, you'll need to send a written permission to FAPSCO. Okay. In this topic, branding and niching, we will be discussing client avatar. We'll learn what is a client avatar, the importance of defining your client avatar, and the challenges that you will meet on designing one or defining one. And then we'll also learn branding basics, what comprises a brand, and then we will learn how to design how to conceptualize names and design logos and color schemes, for the branding kit. Okay, we will also learn how to do brand fascination, so we'll have to take a test on the brand fascination test. Okay, and then we'll learn also on marketing pillars and how to do taglines. And of course, this is branding and niching, and it's important that we know more on we know a certain graphic design app or probably graphic design software, so because that's essential part of branding, right? Okay, the color schemes and all that. So in this module, we will learn how to use Canva as well. Okay, and other features that will help us achieve these topics. Okay, so let's go now to our topic. The first one, guide to buyer's persona. All right. So the objective of this section would be to understand what buyer persona is, to know what's the importance of a buyer persona, and learn how to create a buyer persona. Okay. I hope it's not your first time to encounter the concept buyer persona. So for those who do not know, okay, what is a buyer's persona? Buyer's personas are fictional, generalized representations of your ideal customers. So they'll help you understand your customers and prospective customers better and make it easier for you to tailor content to the specific needs, behaviors, and concerns of different types of buyers. So yung pag-define ni buyer persona, although this is a fictional character, but this is a fictional representation. This is a fictional character, but this is a representation of your ideal customer, which you are going to define. So it will be best for you to understand si customer. Okay, what are their needs? What are their challenges? Pain points, and what are their behaviors and concerns, para the products that you will offer to them or services will be catered to what they actually need. Okay? I hope that's clear. Kung malabo, let's proceed pa rin. Um, on achieving another important thing on defining why you have to define the buyer persona is you'll have more focus and clear targeting and messaging on your um clear targeting and messaging towards your ideal customer. Okay, so kunyari na-define mo si buyer persona. Kunyari you're a freelancer and your client is like a professor who would want to put together all her teachings in one website. Okay, supposing you know already how to do WordPress website development and you are asked to do the whole project. Okay, so what will you think? This is a professor, he's teaching microbiology and biotechnology. Okay, for example. So on that note, you will imagine who will be interested to read or to visit a website on microbiology and biotechnology or biochemistry, I'm sorry, whatever. Okay, so you have to know what kind are these people, when are they usually awake. You have to consider that what colors would probably appeal to them. Okay, these people are mostly mathematically gifted, so will it matter if you make it colorful or you make it texty? I mean, a lot of text in the site, a lot of knowledge, something like that. You have to know who will who will be attract what kind of behavior will this market, will the viewers of the website of your client have, so that you can prepare the website according to that, so that you'll have more traffic, right? So clear targeting and messaging, even on your social media postings. Okay, you even have to research, where are they in the social media, are they in the social media, or are they in more professional platforms like LinkedIn or so. um and then find out what could they possibly look for. Okay, what kind of words? All right, even that. So the by defining them, by identifying them and listing down what are their behavior, then you know how to approach them, right? You know how to approach them. Okay, next one. Why persona matters to marketing. So as I have explained earlier, buyer personas allow you to map out and create highly targeted content, and allows you to personalize or target your marketing for different segments of your audience. So, yun nga, as I've mentioned earlier, mas focus yung iyong messaging. Okay, kasi you've defined them eh. You've identified them. How old are they? What would be their favorite color? Actually, parang somehow you'll have to figure out that, and what subjects are they interested on? Something like that. So basically it's also guiding you, how well do you really know your ideal customers? So by defining your buyer person, identifying your buyer personas, then you get to know your ideal customers. All right. And then it says you won't be able to position what you're selling to meet customers and potential customers' needs without knowing who they are. Correct naman. Even in the simplest face-to-face or physical stores, diba? In a sari-sari store, I mean, you have to know sino ba yung bumibili dito. Anong klase ba yung mga binibili nila, diba? It has something to do with that. Kaya lang, this one is online. So, iba lang yung platform, ibang situation, ibang environment. But then, basically, it's the same basic thing, getting to know your customer. Okay. Buyer persona, well, do you understand their interest and needs? So, paulit-ulit. So, understand their interests and needs. How well do you really know your ideal customers? And do you know how old they are? Mga ganon. Yung parang talagang you have to define sino sila, ilang taon sila, are they married, are they single, what are their waking hours, what's the probable job, how busy are they, how many hours in a day are they working, and what could be the best possible time to put in something so that they can tumble on it and probably get their attention to visit your site or your social media account, something like that, call their attention. Okay, another question, where they went to school, that would matter as well. Whether they have kids, yes, that matters as well. And then what a day in the life looks like, just like what I said, what's their waking hours. So these are important things for you when you define your buyer persona. So now let's learn how to create a buyer's persona. First, I think this format is from HubSpot, no? HubSpot. First, you have to define who. Sino siya? You fill out your persona's background, demographics, and identifiers. So background niya, kunyari here, the sample would be Sally. So head of human resources, worked on the company for 10 years, married with 2 children, and the children are teenagers, no? The 8 years old, almost a teenager na. So yun yung background. Demographics, how old is she? What's dual income, so parang somehow you have an idea, can she afford or not, diba? Where does she live, suburban or in an urban area? And then identifiers, you have to imagine ano ba siya, knowing that she has like dual income, she has 2 jobs, and she's head of a department, and she has teenager kids, so it must be a challenge, no? And then identify, is she a calm person, does she have an assistant that screens her calls? So something, all these things you'll have to know. This basically just, filling up that question, who, since siya. And then what would be fill in your persona's goals and challenges, followed by what your business can do to help them achieve their goals and overcome their challenges. So, ano to, yung goals naman niya. So, given her background, ni Sally, you'll answer naman the question what. So, ang goals niya is keep employees happy and turnover low. Of course, that's double trabaho for her. She has to always, hire, because she's with human resources. And then support legal and financial teams. So, the challenges that she's encountering, because that's important. Ano-ano ba yung mga problema niya? Getting everything done with a small staff. Okay? And then rolling out changes to the entire company. Okay, that could be one of the challenges that you can identify with a head of with one that's head of HR department. And then what can we do? Okay, so dyan na papasok, kunyari you're a service provider, so what can we do? Make it easy to manage all employee data in one place. So if you're a freelancer that's into databasing, or integrate with legal and finance team systems. So because her challenge, her goal is to really support and the legal and financial team. So paano ba siya magkaka-access doon? So basically, one of the services that you can provide is to integrate the HR system with the legal and financial systems, right? So that's one example. So that was what, answering the question what, and then we have here answering naman the question what, how. Okay, I've somehow put there what can we do, so medyo what pa rin yun, so pero na-identify na what. what can be done. And then finally, you can fill in the marketing messaging you want to use for this particular buyer. So identify mo na what can you do for her. And then you'll figure out na on this section, this is section 4. There's no section 3. So what? There should be a when, no? Anyway, section 4 is how. Marketing messaging. So so since the aim is to integrate HR database management. So yung marketing messaging mo uh, on that kind of service and your elevator pitch. So here the examples, we give you an intuitive database that integrates with your existing software and platforms and lifetime training to help new employees get up to speed quickly. So that's the elevator pitch, okay, which is so concise, but it defines basically what it in one sentence like that, it captures the services that you can give her. Okay, so the course, okay, that was for buyer's persona. So that's for branding and niching, we have to first identify, of course, we already know, we've already set our goals, right? Our plans and all that, and our skills, passion, etc. in module 2. We know what we can offer, okay? We also know where should we tap on, so tap up. What kind of skills should we tap up more or learn more to empower us more, okay? Now, for us to sell our services as freelancers or whatever service we have, or even whatever services your client will have, you'll have to learn this writing or getting to know the client, the customer, or by drawing the buyer persona, okay? And then next one, under branding and niching, course objective, understand what branding and brand identity are. So, understand what branding and understand how branding can benefit professionals. So, we will also introduce here, as I mentioned earlier, fascinate. Okay, and then using the brand fascination assessment, we'll have to take that assessment and then use the whatever we get from that assessment for our branding and niching, okay? And then we'll also learn creating a tagline for brand and using the marketing pillar. So, all right. So branding and niching, what worries you as freelancers? Would you type on the chat box what worries you as freelancers so that we have an idea? All right. So the common challenges of freelancers, according to some studies, would be employability despite the lack of a college degree. So common challenge yan, di ba? And then competition from other freelancers. Of course, that's a challenge. And you're competing not only with Filipinos, you're competing with the international markets. Wait ha. Okay. Not only with fellow freelancers actually, because there are also companies or things that offer the same service. So it's really a challenge, competition. And next would be if you do not have enough online experience. So medyo challenge yun syempre sa una, sa beginners, no? Another challenge which should be addressed would be not having enough skills. You should have enough skills to compete, right? Of course, for those who have already gained experience, is job stability or security. When you're a freelancer, you're just hired up to a certain point. You're on a contract. Hindi ka um Hindi ka employee, as was explained in module 1. So, yung security of tenure, wala ka nun. Okay? Employee protection, you're not an employee. Wala. Okay? There's no insurance for you. Okay? Although, most of the jobs are done online, but you have to understand whatever circumstances you face on fulfilling your task as freelancer, that is your circumstances. Okay? Because you're in a contract with your client and the concern is just to have it done. Okay? Of course, another one, losing a client. That's of course that can happen anytime, even if you're very good at your project. Okay, because maybe things can happen. Like for example, just for example, your client just upgraded to a new server, and it's a completely different server, and it's with an updated software that you're not familiar about. So whether you're doing good, whether you can easily learn and adapt, still the client would want it functioning pronto right now. And you don't have that skill, sorry, you lose the client. They get to hire somebody else. Okay. Time difference, that's another challenge. That's me personally. I don't want to take on US shift because I just want, that's one of the challenge for freelancers. You want to live a normal life, but then if you take on graveyard shift, or if you take on from countries that have different time zones, then you will be sleeping during the day while your whole family and even your friends are having fun, and you'll be sleeping. And then while they are resting during the night, you are working. Okay, so that's the really pain point of that. Of course, also personal challenges. We have to we have to also realize that we all have different circumstances in our lives. It's not always a smooth flow. So it's part of the challenges for every freelancer. Okay, so I think it was raised because basically um you're it's just a reminder for you as freelancers. Okay, so we go to this part. What is a brand? Okay, let me just see. What can you see in this bottle? How you interpret this bottle would really depend on what kind of persona are you, how you perceive things, right? That's because branding is the overall experience that your customers perceive about your company. So kumbaga, a promise of quality, consistency, competency, and reliability. Kumbaga, here I actually can see a couple, okay, but some people would see dolphins, okay, swimming dolphins. Of course, they're swimming, they're dolphins, but with that there are different scenarios, right? So in branding, there shouldn't be like that. Okay, there shouldn't be a dilemma or a misconception on who you are, because there should be some kind of quality and consistency on how you project your brand, your product, or your service. So also, whatever you want them to perceive, it has to be reflected on your materials and everything. Okay. That's how it's going to be. There shouldn't be like this dolphins, this cover, something like that. One glance at your brand, they know who you are, what you do, okay, and what you stand for. Okay. So, what is a brand? It is the reason clients avail your services instead of someone else or not avail at all. So, as I said here, One look at you, they know who you are, what you do, what you stand for. And then that's when they decide whether this what I need. Okay, can I avail of their service or not? Okay, it's a guiding thing for your clients also. So what are the components of a brand? One, logo design. Make sure that your logo represents your brand core essence. All right. Make sure your logo represents your brand core essence. It has to be well thought of or conceptualized, you know. Next one, the wording. Know the language of your audience. So if you have a particular product and then kailangan it would fit your audience. Okay? Hindi pwedeng mismatch siya. Okay? And then brand identity. From the logo and the name, you should include colors, images, and other visual elements on your brand identity. So you have there, I said logo, wording, brand identity. Okay, and then the brand promise. So this is the client's expectation. So it's part of branding. Okay, brand differentiation. It has to be really unique and powerful so that it will stand out from the competition. All right. So now start from your company name and logo. So number one, keep it short. Okay. Um, if kunyari your company name is Rumpelstiltskin, then probably you'll be getting a URL that's rumpelstiltskin.com, which is a challenge, you know. Hi, can I see your can you send me info about your products and services? Oh, ma'am, please just go to our website, rumpelstiltskin.com. It's, you know, it's hard. Okay. And then preferably the name of your product or message. So if you're into freelancing, probably it will help if you just name your company WordPressExpert.com. So if you get the website, that WordPressExpert.com, right? And then use keywords. So also consider the keywords that's related to your product or service. Okay. So for example, if your client is into travel and tours, so maybe consider Let's Go Travel and Tours. So you know that it's Let's Go. So it's also forward, right? Do not make these mistakes. Okay, choose among other company logo concepts. So huwag kang manggaya, gaya-gaya, putumaya. Okay, you should have a unique logo. Okay. If you're not confident in creating visuals, then hire a good graphics designers. Let's admit it, hindi natin specialize lahat, no? Don't do it yourself all the time. You can hire someone who specializes on this conceptualizations. Okay? And then you can create a text-based logo with your branding. So pwede ring text-based like WPExpert.com. Yun lang yung logo mo. Like, you know, Coke. Coke lang. C-O-K-E. But then there's a differentiation when it comes to font and colors, right? Okay, logo does not explain. Sabi niya, it identifies. So, use your brand or logo. There should be a color pattern. And then communicate the mood you want your clients to feel. Okay. Be consistent in all your materials and learn the psychology of colors. So, psychology of colors. Okay, we'll have to tackle that later. We'll have to learn about that. I think psychology of colors. Okay. So, freelancer brand voice. Well, the character or persona should be friendly, warm, inspiring, playful, authoritative, professional. The tone should be humble, personal, clinical, honest, direct, and scientific. Okay. For language, it should be complex, savvy, insider, serious, simple, jargon-filled, fun, whimsical. Okay. And for the purpose, brand voice can be engage, educate, inform, enable, entertain, delight, sell, amplify. O, di ba? Ang daming guide for when you do your brand voice. A brand's tone of voice should be distinctive, recognizable, and unique. All right. Bakit naman importante yung voice, yung tone of voice? So it's an expression of the people behind the brand. It sets you apart from the rest. It builds trust. It can be used to influence and persuade. Okay. Now, let's go to Simon Sinek's Golden Circle. You'll have to identify in branding, no? First, why? From the innermost part, the core. Why? So you have to define your why, your core, your purpose, or your belief. Why? Why me? Why am I offering this? Why do you need me? Okay. Next one would be how. So, what stands you apart from your competition? Okay, why do you need a website? Then you reason out, why do you need a website? What stands, I can do your website. I am this and that. Okay. And then what? The products and service you provide. So, website development, search engine optimization, and all that. So always in the innermost part of the golden circle is the why. Okay. Remember that in your branding task or branding, while you craft your brand, you have to remember this golden circle. So in one or two sentences, give me an idea about your freelancer service. And then what makes you different? Okay. What makes you different from the next one? Here's an example from Papsco. So I am Raquel Asa. I have businesses grow by managing their social media presence and promoting their business on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to generate leads and sales. So it's so nicely crafted sentence, but it basically tells everything that you do that you're capable of, and that it's not like compelling because it has that sound of being humble and humane. I help businesses grow. Okay. And then you have to have that 9 seconds. You have to catch that attention, get that attention in 9 seconds. So, okay. And so that means you have to stand out. All right. So, next one. Are you fascinating when you communicate? So, we're now on the fascination assessment. The more you're intelligent, according to Sally Hogshead, the more you intelligently observe people's online style, the more quickly you can fascinate them with your own. So you become more worthy of attention. Okay. Fascination is an intense focus. When you fascinate your listener, they're more likely to connect with you and remember you. So that's a nice concept, no? So, everyone, we should take the fascination personality test by Sally Hogshead. I'm sending you the link. The test gives you your brand's fascination advantage, the 5 adjectives you can use to describe your brand, And the 4 marketing pillars you need to observe whenever marketing a product or service. Okay? And note that you need to take that fascination personality test before you can identify all this. It differs from person to person. So do not assume that you can copy your another trainee's answer. Okay, iba-iba siya. According to Solly Hogshead, the 7 fascination advantage would be the languages of fascination, innovation. So that means the language of creativity, passion, the language of relationship, power, language of confidence, prestige, language of excellence. That means if you've got that fascination advantage, you're always more on being the top, being excellent, always number one. Okay, trust, language of stability. So if you are that, then there's certain colors also that fits your that language, and you are more after the stability of the company or of the product or the service. Okay, and that's what you're going to project in your brand, and that's what your core customers will get, should get in 9 seconds, right? Should perceive about you in 9 seconds. Mystic is the language of listening, and alert is the language of detail. So it will also answer the assessment of what makes you fascinating and how the world sees you. So it will also make you answer what's your highest value, realize what's your highest value, and what makes you different. So from being that, from knowing yourself, knowing what you stand for, knowing what's your language, uh, you will earn your audience attention and you will earn their respect. Kasi they know that you know what you're talking about. You know what you stand for. Okay? So here, this is your personality brand. So you get the adjective, and this is how you're going to be different. And your highest value. So what you do best. Okay. Highest is the pinnacle of who you are and what makes you exceptional. Distinct is how you are different, and value is your specialized ability to deliver above and beyond what is expected. So when you craft your brand anthem is adjective plus noun of your highest value. Okay, this is how it's going to look. So you will get to know your adjectives when you take the test. At my highest value, I deliver entrepreneurial adventure. Okay. Or visionary adventure or forward thinking commitment. Adjective plus noun of your highest value. So here's an example. I am Merkel. I'm an e-commerce advocate and a social media marketer and advertiser. At my highest value, I provide expressive digital marketing campaigns. Expressive is the adjective that will trigger audience sensory responses. Sensory is the noun, making them warm customers, adjective, and loyal to your products or services. I am optimistic, another adjective about our results, as I make sure that your brand will become socially relevant to your customers' needs. So that's how she crafted her brand anthem. All right. So when someone reads your message, they should hear your voice. Okay. Somehow they know, si ano to, Argel. Okay. Why do certain messages captivate while seemingly equivalent deserving ones never get the attention? Because it doesn't come from within. Okay. It's not um it's not prepared with the buyer's persona in mind, or even the highest value of the product or the provider, right? So according to Sally Hogshead again, the hallmarks of a fascinating brand is it provokes strong and immediate emotional reactions. It creates advocates, of course. It becomes cultural shorthand for a specific set of actions or values. It incites conversation and it forces competitors to realign around it. Isn't that fun? So that's the hallmark of a fascinating brand. So it provokes strong and immediate emotional reactions. So ang question, do we provoke strong and immediate emotional reactions? What types of reactions do we want to incite? So these are the things you need to answer when you do your branding, no? It should create advocates, says here. So what would it take to make someone want to pay for a t-shirt bearing our logo? That's right, no? Parang, bakit ko susuot logo? Binayaran niyo ba ako? Unless I'm a fan or loyal follower, di ba? Okay, I will wear that for you. Okay, what would it take for people to be willing to stand in line for ours to purchase our product? Okay, that's another. And what would it take for our product to become so beloved that it never ever went on sale? Oh, di ba? Social. Okay, here is the provoke strong and immediate emotional reaction. So, this is a video, no? Sometime, actually, there's a lot of kwentong Jollibee. So, medyo it elicits emotional reactions. Okay. And then, standing in line, no, Apple, no, when they release a new product, talagang meron silang loyal customers. So, okay, becomes a cultural shorthand. The questions that you have to answer, do we embody a specific set of values or actions? Diba? Do we represent anything? How could we turn our unique attributes into emblems of our beliefs? Diba? That should be those are the questions you should answer if you want to achieve that hallmark, no, one of the hallmarks, become a cultural shorthand. Okay, another one. If you want that your brand will fascinate by inciting conversation, questions, are we inciting conversation? Are we inciting? Okay, what opportunities do you create for people to connect with one another? Okay. And does your message create a debate? Something like that. Yung parang pag-uusapan ka. Pag-uusapan mo yung product mo. Okay? Forces competitors to realign around it. That's the real thing, no? It's really a fascinating brand if the competitors would really want to realign. Ganun sila. Okay, let's do that too. Could people describe themselves by comparing you to your competition? Okay, that's a question. How could you become irreplaceable for the audience? Impossible to exactly replace or duplicate. Yun yung mga questions that you should answer, okay? Now, will your services be fascinating or forgotten? According to Solly Hogshead, in a competitive environment, the most fascinating option always wins. So you got to have your brand you have to make your brand fascinating, okay? Your brand's advantage, pag-passion, so expressive, optimistic, warm, social, sensory, okay. So here's an example as well. She used those passion adjectives, okay? Because probably that's the result of her assessment, fascination, brand fascination assessment. Okay. Next one, fashion brands use these four pillars to support every action in their business and marketing. So woo with wow, use the five senses, put love before logic, create a strong and immediate response. Wow. Now, the 7 fascination advantage. Innovation. Was it mentioned there? I think I mentioned it fascination advantage. Oh, let me just okay, we're talking about this, the 7 languages of fascination, okay? Where are we now? So, the 7 fascination advantage. So, innovation, the adjectives would be forward thinking, entrepreneurial, bold, surprising, and visionary. Okay, sample taglines, providing bold digital innovation. Okay, so you use their visionary and then the word innovation. So invent surprising solutions, turn something old into something new, do the opposite, infuse a dose of vice. So that would be. And then for passion, um, so innovation, idea. Passion, love. Okay. Expressive, optimistic, sensory, warm, and social. So under passion, as I mentioned earlier, Woo with Wow, I provide captivating campaigns that captures the attention of our client customers. I analyze our clients' audiences, behavior, emotions, and interests to understand their needs. So use the 5 senses. Okay, sensory. Put lust before logic. I anticipate what it might be like to fulfill a craving and use it to provide campaign messages that will most likely entice the target audience. So, and then create a strong and immediate emotional response. I inspire strong emotions that matches the interest of our audience. For prestige, it's more like ambitious, results oriented, respected, aspirational, and elite. Iba siya. So the sample tagline is architect built for the elite. So ginamit niya talaga yung adjectives, no? So increase perceived value. And then set a new standard. Yun yung guide mo eh. Pag prestige yung ano mo, fascination advantage. Limit availability and develop emblems. Okay? Next one is power. The adjectives, assertive, goal-oriented, decisive, purposeful, opinionated. When power is your fascination advantage, you tend to lead the way, take control, pursue specific goals, and voice your opinions of authority. Okay? Sample tagline, where decisive actions happen. Oh, okay? That's power. For trust, the adjectives would be stable, dependable, familiar, comforting, and predictable. And usually, your aim is to repeat and retell, fulfill client expectations through dependable service, ensuring positive word of mouth. So dun ka naman, yun naman yung after mo. And then be authentic. Provide genuine and comforting campaign messages that attract audiences by anticipating their need for authenticity. And then accelerate trust, assuring clients that we have their best interest at heart. So dapat yung messaging mo on that, geared on that direction. No? Use familiar cues. So turning audiences into loyal customers by giving them a constant feeling of connection to our brand. Sample tagline, dependable service that you can count on. Okay. Mystic, the adjectives would be observant, calculated, private, curiosity, provoking, and substantive. And of course, your direction or what is to protect information, spark curiosity, that direction, but more like your brand anthem should sound like protecting information, sparking curiosity, asking questions before giving answers, and building mythology. Sample tagline, calculated, it works. Mystique, okay? For alert, the adjectives would be organized, detailed, efficient, precise, and methodical. Okay, so your anthem would sound like sweat the small stuff. So you're making sure that the clients are satisfied with your services, okay? And then creates urgency alert, diba? So dapat you are very particular on addressing the client's needs on a timely manner. So, and then define consequences and deadline and use rational facts. Sample, efficient service, detailed results. Okay, I guess I've discussed it all. So we will better understand what we said if we try the fascination test. Okay, and then also do the task. All right. So I'll see you in the video on the task tutorial. Bye for now.